an eye-watering 53,680 yen, grossly overpriced. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix. This time around 23rd to 28th of June 2025. Half of the year is gone. Time flies, and this week it has to be Azur Lane being the main highlight. This game has been going strong for the past few years. No signs of slowing down. And yes, we are going to discuss a lot about this new 50,000 plus yen figure from Alter. Things seem to get worse in this hobby when it comes to inflation. Anyways, we have like at least 3 or 4 new Azur Lane skill figures on the genuine figures site alone. Meanwhile, for the third parties, we have many figures as well, just not as bad as last week, fortunately. So without further ado, let's move on to Hobby Link Japan for our genuine PVC skill figures on pre-order for the week. Starting off with the largest scale as usual, 1x4 scale, only one on HLJ. Kill La Kill Mako Mankan Shoku Bunny version by Free Ink, 32,000 yen, January 2026 release. You know what? I nearly forgot that this character existed. Granted, admittedly, I am not exactly a big fan of this anime adaptation, but when you tell me Kill La Kill, I only remember the other two characters, Satsuki and what's the name again? Anyways, you know which one. Yeah, and I always forget about this character over here. 32,000 yen. You know, I still feel like she should have been a bit cheaper than this, 27, 28k, but yeah. I suppose that this figure is simple enough to cost below 36,000 yen, which is the normal starting price nowadays for 1x4 skilled bunnies. Anyways, Kill La Kill is not like Azur Lane or many other anime where you get multiple main characters and supporting characters. Like, the list of figures you want to collect is never ending. At least with this series, you only get these 3 girls. There won't be more. So for fans of this anime, you may want to pick all of them up. Yeah, only 3 of them, only. Just that, you look at this trio over here, they are all black bunnies from the look of it. Yeah, looks like black all the way, but the one in the center, her bunny suit, has this dark blue color tint, which I really like, but the other 2 are kind of plain. Yeah. Now moving on to 1x6 scale, we have Concept Masterline Devil May Cry 5 Dante by Pram 1 Studio, 63,000 yen, December release. For those of you who love DMC, DMC is like a fan favorite game. Many people love this game. For me, I've never played it before. Yes. So now you know. I've never played it before. Okay, so there really isn't much going on with this one. This is just Concept Master Lines, not their Elite series, so not their very best product line. Moving up next, this is a quick mention. Last week I covered 3 suspiciously could be PVC figures on OSGK, but they were not listed on Ami or HLJ or anywhere else yet. This week we do get one of them listed here on HLJ, Dorothy. This is also available in Ami, 17,000 yen by InFocus at 1x6 scale. April release, not a bad price at all. But the other 2 I covered last week, nowhere to be seen yet. So at least now I know this is actually a PVC figure. Yeah. And once again, new brand, InFocus, never heard of them. Okay, moving on to the new stuff this week, we have Omaha 1x6 scale Snowbreak Containment Zone Vidya Shannon, 17,000 yen, May release. Okay, I have a few things to say about this one. Firstly, for a bathtub figure, for a bathing figure, this is fairly unique, but at the same time, it also looks a little bit cheaply made, if I have to be honest. So, unique in the sense that I get to see the entire figure. Like, she is not partially concealed just because her body is, soaked inside water and then with an opaque white or some other color bathtub. No, they made the bathtub transparent. Though bathtubs like this, the transparent one, they do exist. I've seen them in like 5-star hotels. But at the same time, it looks like, the cheap clear plastic bowl you see in $1 stores. Yeah, it looks a bit cheap over here. The kind of plastic they used to make the bathtub. Maybe it is just perception, and when the figure actually comes out, it looks way better in person. That is also a possibility. But if there is something I would change with this figure, and this may increase the price tag to 20,000 yen, but I would still do it if I was the one behind designing this figure, I would make the bathtub transparent like this, but the water within it, right? Water within the bathtub to be completely solid, like a solid block of resin similar to that. Completely solid, translucent, light blue color, maybe plastic or any other types of material. And yeah, the figure is still visible, like her bottom is still visible, but you get this blue color tinge, right? Because it is underwater. So this one, it almost looks like the figure is sitting in an empty bathtub with a layer of plastic on top, separating the top half and the bottom half. If you get the gist, like what I'm trying to say over here, right? It looks like an empty bathtub with a layer of plastic in the center. So I would prefer the water part to be completely solid. Though yeah, making that entire part solid would, yeah, that sounds pretty expensive, but I would still go for that. So this figure is like almost there, almost perfect enough, almost unique enough, but there were some things that it makes the figure feel a little bit cheap looking to me. Yeah. Can I recommend it? Still a yes, because we don't have many anime scale figures yet from this game. This is one of very few, and if you like what you're looking at, by all means pick one up, because this is only 17,000 yen. And in case you're unaware of, yep, Omaha is a Chinese figure brand. They also make edgy figures, but not this one. Okay, moving on to the next one here. Wow. So, this is an artwork by Asanagi, and we have Amane Sopra DX version. 1/5 scale by Pure. This is the DX version, almost 40,000 yen, and then there is a cheaper version, cheaper by 10,000 yen, 29k or so. The difference is the amount of accessories you get in the box. Now, I couldn't show much with this figure because, yeah, YouTube doesn't like it, but you to get an acrylic standee of a man next to her doing what men do, at least in H anime. And you know what? This figure is a bit hardcore, but I still like it. I still want it if possible. Even if her melons are too big to my taste, I don't like giant lumps of fat on the chest. Not my kind of thing, but I still want it for two reasons. Number one, the figure is actually beautiful from an artistic aspect. The sculpting and everything, the body anatomy is really nice. Number two, this would be a big middle finger to the customs departments in my country. Like, censorship in my country is a lot worse than Facebook and YouTube combined. No joke. Yeah. The customs department over here, I have heard and seen so many stories of them confiscating perfectly safe anime figures, not cast offable at all. And then in case you buy an anime figure that is actually safe but looks kind of sus because of the pose or the character design, the outfit is very sexy, they will make you open the anime figure box on the spot. If the box is non-windowed, they want to see everything inside. Yes, and apparently this is standard operating procedure in our customs department for the past 5-7 years. It is nothing new. Yes, they make you open your MSIB figures. They don't care. If you are planning to sell it later, if it is a customer's product, not your own, they don't care. They want you to open a sealed box just to see the content. Because the customs are not stupid, they know that cast-offable figures do exist, but what they do not know is that cast-offable figures does not necessarily mean that you peel off the clothes literally like that, because nowadays customable figures, they come with separate parts that are wrapped tightly in a separate compartment hidden somewhere in the box. Or with third-party resin figure companies, they even send you a second box separately consisting of the accessories only. So yeah, let's hope they don't know about this, but even if they know, what can they do about it, right? For us anime figure collectors, we are just collectors, we are not criminals. We want our stuff and we'll get it no matter what the means are. So with this figure, obviously, for someone like me, I can't import it into my own country, at least not from Japan, guaranteed to get busted. But if I want it, I will always find a way to get what I want. Yeah. So we will see, because 40,000 yen for this is really expensive, and I would rather spend that on a Nikkei or a FGO figure, this kind of money. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, here we go. This is the regular version, 29,000 yen. And the price difference is big, 10,000 yen, but still go all out and get the full set. Okay, the next one here, another very very controversial figure, and also very cultured, because this is Loli. 1/6 scale Onibana Muzan Onihime Sunset, illustrated by Mochi, by Tuberosa Plus, formerly known as Orchid Seed. 18,500 yen, December release, this December. Okay, this is for those of you who love your lolis, and even though I love mine, this is not exactly my type of figure. Like, I do like her, but not enough. I don't like her enough to justify buying or pre-ordering one for now. And this figure feels really familiar. It feels like I've seen it before. It feels like an older figure by Orchid Seed many years ago, and then they remastered it. It feels that way to me. I'm not sure if my memory is correct, but it feels like I've seen this before somewhere. Yeah. And for this brand, I would rank them a solid B to B+. Like Orchid Seed or Tuberosa Plus, their figures are mostly fine. Yeah, I don't have much to complain about. Occasionally, you have some, how do I put it? The sculpt department, like the mold lines and the gaps. Sometimes you do see a bit of inconsistency, which is why I would never label them as A tier in terms of quality, but still a solid B. Otherwise, they don't have much QC issues with the figures. Okay, moving up next, we have Daiki Kogyo 1/6 Gear Daiki Private Academy Series Maid. And since this is Daiki we're talking about, obviously this thing is cast-offable. And yeah, they must be going by their old school cast-off mechanism, where there are clips on the side of the figure, and then you peel their undergarments off. They are very soft, rubber-like PVC. So that is why this is quite cheap, 22,000 yen, December release. And Daiki is more like B- or even C tier figure brand. Yeah, I have purchased their figure before. I like it enough to buy them, right? But there is really no comparison. When you compare them to the likes of Native and any companies related to Native, like Daiki is a tier or two below them, but they do make stuff that people like, so they have been around for at least a decade, if not longer. Yeah, doing well enough to survive in this very competitive anime figure industry. Okay, moving up next, we have a couple of Azur Lane figures over here and more in Ami section later. The first one, so many people were surprised by how cheap this figure is. Yeah, I mean, we are so used to seeing scale figures costing 30k today that under 20,000 yen seems to be like the magic number, no? This psychological barrier. Whenever you see a scale figure, the price starts with a 1 instead of the digit 2. Even if it is only 19,000 yen, it feels cheap. Even though, yeah, I wouldn't call it cheap, but reasonable, right? So this Bremerton Joyride of Love, yep, I'll just call it wedding version, from Good Smile Company is only 19,000 yen, releasing in June next year. Yes, is this the best Bremerton figure? I think subjective, I guess. Like, also has a really good figure of her. Apex Toys also has it. So it really depends on which one you like more, or you are the kind to buy them all, then go ahead and buy them all. This one, in my opinion, is a no-brainer for Bremerton fans. This thing is so affordable that you should grab one, as long as you are a big fan of Azur Lane or this character Bremerton itself. I don't know how Good Smile is doing it. Nowadays, they are keeping their prices really under control, regardless of what game or what franchise. Their Blue Archive figures are also notably affordable. Yeah. The second Good Smile Azur Lane figure here is Mogador Locker Room Lacquerie version. This one is from, One Fest, the one we saw. Same thing with Bremerton earlier. 16,400 yen. What the heck? It is so, like, This is very affordable for a high quality scale figure by a brand that has a good track record in terms of quality. Yeah, July 2025 release. Yes, it is only a swimsuit figure, less parts, simpler to paint, which may be why the figure is affordable. And yeah, I am a bit unhappy with the towel. Seems like it is real fabric from the looks of it. I don't like that, yeah. But at this price, maybe I can forgive it. It is like including a piece of handkerchief in a figure box. That is the way I see it. And maybe it is for you to wipe yourself clean after you jack off to this figure, but please don't do that. Can I recommend it? Once again, big yes. For Azur Lane fans, you guys are eating it good, man. Okay, moving up next, we have this gushing over magical girls, Maja Ezel Teen Ice Shrine Maiden DX version by Wing Company. Now, this figure initially, I was screaming, what the heck, why is it so overpriced? But looks can be deceiving because the DX version includes almost one entire new figure. Almost. You can't display two figures side by side, but the amount of extra stuff you're getting is a lot. So the standard version over here is going for 25,000 yen, a bit over that, March 2026 release, I mean. And I implore you to get the DX version for only an additional 7,000 yen. The reason is because, well, first things first, what are the similarities between the standard and the DX version here? You can cast off both, right? Both versions allow you to swap out the chest portion to expose her opai because it is gushing over magical girls. What is this anime without exposed opai, right? That is their trademark. So the good news is that if you settle for the standard version, you want to keep your budget in check, you are not missing out on much. You can still cast her off, top only of course. But if you get the DX version, instead of two display options, with clothes and exposed opai, you get a third display option, a few parts included in the box, and you can have her displayed in battle damage version. Multiple parts on her clothes torn off, battle damage. In anime, when a character is injured, it means a few scratches, a few black color lines on the skin, and clothes torn off, just enough not to reveal, the sensitive parts on the character or the figure. So, my personal subjective opinion, the battle damage version looks best among the three. And I suppose that Wing Company knows this, which is why they are saving the best looking version for the DX version, because they want you to spend more. Yeah, and fair enough, Wing Company, you guys did an amazing job with this figure. I will tell all of you watching this video, if you want one, get the DX version. Wing Company, in case you did not know, they have been around for a long time and the figures in general are quite okay. Like, there are no major flaws or complaints I can think of when it comes to this brand. It is a safe pre-order in a way. Yep. Okay, moving up next, we have Fate Stay Night Saber Garden of Avalon. We saw this in in Smile Fest. Just a few weeks ago. 21,000 yen only, August release. So as you can see, Good Smile keeping the prices in check. But as a fan of Fate series, I don't think I'm getting this. Like, sure, if I have purchased everything that I currently have in my wish list, I have nothing left to buy, then yes, I would buy it. But currently, my priorities are not as high for this Saber over here. She is holding a Caliban from the looks of it. Saber is known for Excalibur, but I find the Caliban to be, a prettier sword in a way in terms of the design. Yeah, so this is a very nice figure for Fate series fans. Pick one up if you like this one. Okay, moving up next, this Kazusa figure from Blue Archive by Claynell, 20,000 yen, March release. This Kazusa, I was writing her off when I saw her in Smile Fest painted a few weeks ago. I was like, alright, cute figure, but nothing too special. But when they display figures in events, more than often they are unfinished prototypes. And these final product pictures over here, suddenly she looks a bit more finished, more complete in a way, if that makes any sense. And she is looking way better than I expected in these pictures. And 20,000 yen is very reasonable. I'm starting to like this figure quite a lot actually. Initially, I was feeling meh just a few weeks ago, seeing her in an event, I mean. Yeah. And boy, I love my girls holding a firearm or any weapon for the matter. This looks really nice. I think without this, is it shotgun? Looks like it to me. Without this shotgun, this would appear to be a very boring figure. Yup. So, should you get it? For Blue Archive lovers, I think you really should. Claynel is a good brand. Really good brand. They were formerly known as Revolve, I think. Revolve. But their Revolve past, they were very average. But since they rebranded to Claynel, they are like a whole different company. Their quality nowadays is good. So go for it if you like her. Up next, we have another Blue Archive figure, Saori by Wonderful Works, 22,700 yen, April release. Okay, I also like this one quite a lot, just that, yeah, they are following the official artwork, I suppose, the character art, so the pose is a bit boring, unfortunately. And this smile over here, this confident smile, I like it. So you're getting extra parts. And as for Wonderful Works, I have only reviewed one single figure from them, and that is, yeah, what's her name again? The Astrologist from Genshin Impact. Yeah, Mona Magisters. That figure was okay, but I wasn't very impressed with it. So with that one single figure as a guideline, can I recommend this one? Well, it is still an okay purchase, still an okay pre-order really, but I wasn't really impressed. But I was also judging by one single figure, right? Not 5, not 10 figures from the same brand. So that is a bit premature to judge a brand from one single figure. But at least, going by that figure of Mona Magisters from Genshin, I know that at least they don't screw up the figure, right? QC part is okay, but detailing part, paintwork part could be better. That's the thing. Okay, moving up next, we have this figure, which is currently, at the time of recording, Friday, the 27th, I think. This is #1 best-selling figure on Ami for this week. And I'm not too surprised, to be honest. Okay, let's say I'm a bit surprised because I was expecting that Bremerton figure earlier to be #1 selling, but it isn't. It is this figure of Hulkenberg at 1/7 scale from Metaphor Fantasio by Kotobukiya, 20,000 yen. Releasing in January, quite soon. And you know what? Elves. We usually get figures of them with either a very flat chest or with very big melons, and then their bodies are quite exposed in a way. But an elf in a military uniform, now that is a bit rare. Yes, so I like this a lot, to be honest, because it is quite different from many elf figures out there, and most elf figures are also blonde, right? Blonde hair. So this thing is a bit special in a way, you know? And you look at the gold color linings on her armor on the chest. That looks fabulous, man. Like, I know nothing about this game. I will probably never play it, but as usual, I buy my figures based on whether I like the character design or not. My style of collecting figures is very similar to people who collect art figures, right? And 18+ figures. They either like the artist or the character itself. They buy it even though they know nothing much about the character. My style is very similar. So I wouldn't say I will pre-order this early, but I am liking this elf figure a lot. And the only reason why I'm afraid to get this figure is because once I get one, I might end up wanting the rest of the cast. And we're looking at, I don't know, 5, 7, 9 characters in a set. Yeah, I have this problem. Some people, they are content with having their favorite characters only. They skip past some characters. But I have this problem where I buy 1 or 2 figures in a set, I will end up wanting the whole set. Otherwise, it feels incomplete in a way. Anyways, if you like this game, go for it. This is an amazing looking figure. I like it a lot. Okay, moving up next, we have Max Factory 1/7 scale Narita Top Goat from Uma Musume, 22,500 yen, May release. Yeah, May next year. it is interesting that regardless of whether it is Kotobukiya or Max Factory over here, the base design they're going for is very similar. I still remember the Kotobukiya ones, they look like pancakes to me. Yeah, and one of you told me that it is actually the base of their trophy, which makes sense. I think Fat Company's bases are also quite similar, right? Yeah. And yeah, unfortunately, this photograph over here is an illusion, a very pretty figure photograph. Like if I did figure photography, I would do the same and Photoshop out the stand that is supporting her knee, but the actual figure has a stand over there, which I suppose can't be avoided. Otherwise, yeah, the figure will lean over time. Even though figure materials by today have advanced a lot compared to just 10 years ago, leaning is still a thing, right? Because climate change, the weather is getting hotter, that's the thing. Nowadays, we don't have PVC figures anymore. Nowadays, it is common to see ATBC PVC. It is like a modified form of PVC, more rigid, and then they tend to mix in a bit of ABS. ABS is basically gunpla plastic, yeah, which is more resistant to heat, but does not mean it prevents leaning completely. So that, yeah, that support on her knee, unfortunately, is much needed. Moving up next, this Hobby Stock Hatsune Miku Expo 10th Anniversary version. You know, in my Smile Fest video, I commented that this brand Hobby Stock, they like to make overpriced Miku figures. They had one Miku figure with a dragon tail, I think. I don't remember what version, like what name it is for that version. That thing was 37 or 38,000 yen. And I wasn't too surprised because they had a long history of making very expensive Miku figures. But to my surprise, this is only 24,000 yen. That's something very wrong with me, isn't it? Like, I'm surprised that this thing is 24k, which indirectly means I'm saying that I'm surprised this thing is cheap when 24k isn't exactly cheap. As for Miku, you know what? This will only appeal to the most hardcore fans of Miku, I suppose. I have one such friend who is like that. This one really not as great looking as the last 5 Good Smile Company Miku figures. Yeah, not as great looking, but the price over here is somewhat reasonable. Okay, moving up next, we have 2 figures of Toru bikini style from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid by Q6. Interesting. Q6, they usually make edgy figures with very big melons, but I suppose that, yeah, Kobayashi's Maid Dragon, this series, it will print them some money. So no, don't expect this figure to be customable. It won't be because it is not an ecchi anime. 22,000 yen January release, and there are 2 versions, the fair skin version over here and the tanned version. And both versions of the same figure will get a second faceplate where she appears. I don't know, she looks pissed to me. And that is probably the faceplate I would go for if I display this figure because it is different from usual. Yeah. So 22,000 yen for 1x7. Alright, fair enough. The cheapskate in me says that this should be 19,000 yen. Should be below 20,000 yen because I am comparing this to the Good Smile Azur Lane figures earlier. Now you get to compare directly within the same video, the same week. The Good Smile figures were so much more detailed, but cheaper. Yeah. So this one is on the expensive side of things, but it is really hard to say for sure what is considered affordable, what is considered cheap or not nowadays, especially when you factor in Chinese brands, yeah, into the mix. Okay, Q6, solid B to B minus. Their figures are okay, very average, average quality, average levels of detail. They are in fact famous for 1x6 scale edgy figures, which are around 25,000 yen or so. In fact, they made their name from affordable or rather reasonable priced edgy figures with big melons. So this one is a bit expensive by their standards, but I suppose that they have licensing cost to pay. Well, especially KyoAni needs that money after the incident from 10 years ago, the arson incident. Okay, up next we have Lady Nagant from BNHA, My Hero Academia, 1x7 scale by Furio, 23,000 yen, April release. Okay, this is actually one of the nicer looking Nagant figures I've seen. I remember that Belfine has one. And what else? There are a few brands that made scale figures of her. I think Bellefind was the brand, right, that had these big signs at the base, like effect parts with text on it, with alphabets on it. Was it Proof or Bellefind? Either one, I can't remember. Anyways, this is one of the better ones in my opinion, because I prefer this base more than the ones made by other companies, which is subjective at this point. Just that with full Rio, their figures been a lot, you might want to wait until after release. Nikkei figures, right? They hold on their value really well, but that is not the case with the ones made by full Rio. There are two of them. One is Guillotine, and the other one I can't remember her name. Both of those are quite heavily discounted in some places now. Yeah, and I was thinking of picking one up. Maybe it will be my first full Rio scale figure. In a month or two, I might pick those up. We'll see. Hopefully, they are still available by then. So, 23,000 yen with that rifle arm over there in the base. I would say this is reasonable. Moving up next, we have this one over here, 100 Artist Exhibition Dismal Illustration. I keep calling this artist Dismal, but actually it's pronounced as Diesmal, if I'm not mistaken. Wheel of Time, DMM Factory, just under 24,000 yen April release. You have to really like the artwork to buy this, because there is nothing that makes me feel like I want this figure. Like, it looks like a generic yukata figure to me, Yeah, nothing too special about it. And this is pretty random, coming from DMM Factory. Pretty random. Okay, but their quality, I don't want to prematurely comment, man. They have a few figures out, but I haven't seen the pictures. I haven't purchased them myself, so I don't want to prematurely comment on their quality, what it is like. Okay, moving up next, we have Kotobukiya at FXJ, Shiki Ichinoshe, Tougen Anki. Okay, January release, 15,000 yen only. It is not like Kotobukiya is unable to give us affordable figures, It was just a week or two ago, there was a 1/8 scale. Was it the Legend of the Heroes figure? I think it was 22,000 yen at 1/8 scale, and then someone on Facebook was complaining, even Kotobukiya stuff are so expensive now. I would say I disagree, right? Okay, with that specific Legend of Heroes figure, 22k for 1/8 scale is expensive. I agree that that figure is expensive, but in general, Kotobukiya as a whole, you say their figures are expensive. I look at the big picture, I don't think that is necessarily the case. I think it is always the licensing cost being the biggest factor over here, right? The most blatantly obvious is FGO. It is very difficult to find a highly detailed FGO figure at under 25,000 yen. Unless it is some kind of swimsuit version, a very simple figure, very difficult to find. Even Kotobukiya's FGO figures are bloody expensive, right? So I think the biggest factor here is the licensing cost for sure. And I think this figure is the best example yet, 15,000 yen at 1/8, but just 2 weeks ago, we had a 1/8 by Kotobukiya at 22,000 yen, big price difference, but yeah, that is how much of a difference licensing cost makes for anime figures. Another excellent example is Marvel DC stuff. You see the Nendoroids, right, and a Figma's Kyoto Revoltech as well. If it is a Marvel character, it is more expensive than similar Figmas or Nandos of anime characters from Japanese origins. Yeah, very obvious over there. Now we move on to pop-up parade or low-budget figures in general. And I am saying this right now. This has to be one of the best looking pop-up parade L figures in the past 1 year. Yes, this looks amazing. The pose and the detail level, everything, like there is nothing I would change with what I'm seeing over here on this figure. It looks amazing. It looks like an expensive scale figure to me that cost over 20,000 yen. However, I'm a figure photographer, and what we figure photographer does best is to make every figure look good in photographs. Sometimes, even the worst looking figures, I can find a way to make them look good without bluffing or cheating, like without altering anything significant in Photoshop, like not much changes. It is the lighting, the background, the selection of the lens we use on our cameras. All these things, if you select them correctly, you do them right, the end result looks amazing, even for a price figure. So, my opinion still stands. This is perhaps the best looking Pop-Up Rate L series figure in the past year or so, but I am a bit doubtful that the actual final product will look this good. Of course, you give me this figure, you tell me to do photography work with my own custom background, I can make the figure look better than even these product pictures over here. I'm able to do it. But I'm talking about the actual figure itself for the average figure collector, where they put the figure on the shelf, they look at the figure every day. It may not look as good to your eyes compared to what you see in these pictures. That is what I'm saying. Having said that, smash that pre-order button because this looks amazing. Yeah, just under 9,000 yen, February release, and who knows, this could be one of my very first Albedo figures. Like, there has been so many figures of her until today, I don't have one single Albedo figure. I almost bought the Taito EMP Plus a few times, but in the end, I did not pull the trigger. But this one, you know, I love my anime characters detailed and with armor, with weapon. I've said this like 69 times by now. So this thing really, you know, appeals to me at a very personal level. This is already a beautiful photograph. Yep. I want it. It has been a long time since I was very attracted to a pop-up rate figure. It has been very long. Okay, moving up next, we have Kasane Teto, also pop-up rate L size, 8,000 yen, December release. Well, she is very popular, right? Like, I don't know anything about her, but I've discovered she's really popular. And these photographs, man, the importance of good photographs in selling a product. Yeah. So this one, yep, go for it. Like, every time I see a pop-up rate L size, I will tell you to pre-order it if you like it. But I can't say the same with the standard pop-up rate that costs around 5,000 yen because the QC on those can be very inconsistent, right? Because they're small figures to begin with, harder to paint. But the L size is like striking the perfect balance between price and size. Yeah, and they blend in very nicely with existing scale figures, be it 1.8 or 1.7. So when people complained recently as well, like, I always get opinions and complaints from you guys and then I address them if I have something to say. Someone said that we are getting way too many pop-up rate L, you want the normal pop-up rate. Well, I beg to differ. I prefer to have more Ls. And in fact, I told Good Smile Company themselves make more pop-up rate Ls in an email actually, from a survey they conducted back then. When they asked for opinions what to release, that was my feedback to them. Yeah, and I'm glad they are actually listening to my feedback. A lot of pop-up rate L announcements nowadays. Okay, moving up next, we have Sakura Kinomoto Black Cat costume version L size as well, 8,700 yen, February release. Okay, this is nice as well. I still like Albedo earlier a lot more, but this is great. A lot of frill. Like, I like frilly figures, but this is a lot of frill, man. Card Captor Sakura fans are probably in their 40s by now in age, right? 40s to 50s. So you guys probably have enough money to buy the best scale figures, like the Good Smile Limited version, One Fest Limited from many years ago. I can't remember the full name. It comes with a giant base, stuff like that, right? And that was really expensive and rare today. You probably already have that, but if you want more Sakura figures, take a look at this one. This one looks really nice. Okay, moving on to the next one, the pop-up rate Tsubaki Guide from Blue Archive, 5,000 yen, November release. Okay, Blue Archive, despite their popularity, I have yet to see their figures become very rare, very limited, and then sell out. Prices going up, I mean. Haven't seen that happen yet. Can't say the same for Hololive. So if you want to sit out on this one and wait until after release, by all means, yeah, you can skip this one and wait. But that face expression over there, I hope that Good Smile does not screw it up. because I think this face expression is the reason why you would want this figure. Yeah, very nice. Moving up next, we have Natsuhiro Matsui from Hololive Pop Upgrade, 5,000 yen, December release. There, I just said earlier, Hololive is an exception. Their stuff sell out a lot, and I've seen aftermarket prices of 9,000-10,000 yen, which was crazy. So to play it safe, pre-order it if you are a Hololive collector. I'm not. I used to plan to review every Hololive Pop Upgrades in the past, but I've given up on doing that. Yeah, not worth my time. Moving up next, we have a re-release of Mao Mao from the Apothecary Diaries, 4,300 yen, November release. Yeah, I will pick up the Good Smile skill at some point. I think she was only a bit over 13,000 yen. I want that figure really badly. Did not pre-order, but we will see. I hope that she is available for a normal price online, and then I'll buy it after release, a month or two after release. Yep. I want to photograph that figure. Like, I want to do a very intricate diorama for her. I really like this character. Okay, and that is all for the Hobby Link Japan section. Now we move on to Ami for exclusives and a few items that are not available on HLJ at the time of recording because they have not posted it yet. Now, before I proceed, if you're enjoying this video so far, please do consider subscribing to this channel. It is just one click away and it costs you nothing, and that is how you support this channel. Alright, back to the main highlights of this week. Like, no contest, this thing is the main highlight for better or worse. And we are looking at New Jersey, 1x7 skill from Azur Lane by Alter, and eye-watering 53,680 yen, releasing in May 2026. Where do I even begin? First question. Is this figure worth over 50,000 yen? Please let me know down in the comments below. And the answer I've gotten from my Discord server, you can join it in the link in the description below. Anyone can join. The answer I've gotten from my Discord server, like, predominantly, most people agree that this is grossly overpriced. And the reason why Alter is pricing this thing so high is because all the New Jersey sims would queue up and purchase it anyway, regardless, right? And yeah, I mean, Alter figured out what your weakness is. They look at your favorite character from a particular game and then they make a very extravagant version of it and charge a premium for it, but people will buy it anyway. That is what I'm thinking over here. Now, with this figure, it all depends on how deep your pocket is. Some of you don't care, you have the money, by all means pre-order it. But in my opinion, if you want a premium New Jersey figure, premium means expensive, but not this level of expensive, 50,000 yen. Then you can take a look at the one that I reviewed last year, which is the wedding version by Apex Toys. The official price is 40,000 yen, which is still very expensive. But what you can do is to search for this figure in Taobao. Yes, China's Taobao, because Chinese brand figures are cheaper in China, right? And the wedding version of New Jersey from Apex Toys in China is the equivalent of around 30 to 33,000 yen. Yes, big difference from the Japanese price. So if you're in the market for a New Jersey figure that is around 30k, like, it is still a premium scale figure, then you can take a look at the Apex Toys one. And in case you don't know how to shop on Taobao because the site is in Chinese, then you can just copy and paste the link and put it in Superbuy. Superbuy is a proxy service. I have discussed about their services a few times on this channel, and you can also make use of my link in the description below to sign up for a free account. Basically, it is a proxy service. Seller ships to their website, and then from the website they forward it to you. You pay the shipping cost. Yeah, so that is one way to do it if you want to get stuff on Taobao. And then there are also New Jersey figures that are way cheaper, 25 to 20,000 yen. I think Apex Toys has a racing version, though I'm not sure if the value has gone up by now. And then there is also the Zozo Black, the very fashionable one, all black outfit. I think that was also Apex Toys, I think. Yeah, 20,000 yen or so. And there are many other options that I can't think of. Even the free in 1x4 bunny, yeah, that thing is massive. Going to cost you a lot in shipping. So is this figure of New Jersey. But that thing bargain bin from 60k to 30k. I'm not sure if that offer is still available in Ami's sale section, you know, while stocks last. But you should check that one out. But it also goes against my own principle as a figure collector. I prefer smaller figures that are high detail instead of bigger figures that are low in detail. So given a choice between the free-in one and this one, personally I would take this one, right? But no, I'm not buying this, not at this price point. This should be around 48,000 yen, I think, but there is a 10% tax. Yeah. Okay, moving up next. We have Azur Lane Prince Eugen, Brilliant Touchdown version, 1/6 scale by any game. Wow, 16,600 yen after discount. And coming out in July 2026. Alright, for Prince Eugen, you have the epic one by Alter with the ship parts and so on that cost over 30k. Or you can get this one, 1/6 scale, bigger even, at just under 17,000 yen. Granted, this is like sportswear outfit, but I like it a lot. Yeah, this is nice. And any game stuff, this is not limited or anything, just that they show up late in HLJ, usually 1 week later. This is worth it. Up next, Animaster has a new bunny girl for us at only 5,400 yen. Uriko Usaki-chan illustration by Maeno, 1/6 scale. Yup. More cheap bunny girls. If you love a bunny girls, pre-order it. But this being just another bunny girl, I would say my priority is very low for this one. Yeah. So really depends on what my plans are for that particular month. I want to buy something extra to add to my figure haul at a low cost. Then if this figure happens to be a new release in the same month, I get to review it early, then by all means, I might try to review it. Otherwise, I won't bother with this one. Though I have to say that her face looks really nice, that blush over there. Yeah. And Animaster is like one of the leading budget scale figure brands out there, one of the best, top 3 best even, together with Bear Panda. Yeah. So if you like her, pre-order it. Yep. And the last figure here, this is from the mature section of Ami. Otaku Tomodachi to Chiwa Saiko ni Kimochi Miyoshi Bunny version, 1/4 scale, 40k, fully customable, and December release. Okay, just a bunny girl of Megane girl, nothing too appealing to me. But you can remove her bunny suit completely for this one. Binding, right? They are more highly regarded than Free Ink as a 1/4 scale brand. But they still have the occasional slip-ups, the occasional issues where the sculpting department, right? Sometimes they are unable to faithfully replicate the same face as seen in the original artwork. It happened to a few of their figures. So I wanted to warn you about that, but at the same time, binding figures, they always hold on their value, they always go up in value even if you are afraid about that. But you wait until after release, it is a bit too late to get one. Yeah. So if bad things happen to the sculpt of the face of the figure, then the price would be, at least in Taobao. Not in Japan, I think, but in Taobao it will be. But if it doesn't and the figure turns out perfect, then you start looking for it, it is too late. So pre-ordering a binding figure is a bit of a gacha actually, yeah. Moving on to the last section for genuine figures, we have, Be Full Insight stuff at Ninin Game. This is Elves Can't Forgive Goblins. Right, I like this one, just that, the brand, the only problem I have is the brand. 22,000 yen at 1/6 scale and 1/4 at 35,000 yen. The next one here, we have third year class, a medical checkup, Hanamori Juri 1/6, 22k, 1/4, 35k. And the last one here is a re-release. You see, re-release, right? They make garbage, but people queue up and purchase them. That is the problem. Enticing Akari-chan, 1/6 scale, 29k. Wow, 1/6, 29k. Inside online shop exclusive. They know they make trash, but they need to give you a reason to buy them. So, exclusivity. Yeah. And the 1/4 scale, 35k. Why? The 1/4 scale is not an exclusive. Normal price of 35k. But the 1/6 scale is an exclusive apparently, and because of that, there is a premium over there. Get the 1/4. Okay, and that is all for the genuine figures on pre-order this week. Now we move on to third-party resin figures making use of OSGK, which is this channel's affiliate partner for third-party section. As usual, if you're interested in purchasing or pre-ordering literally anything, not just figures, can be Gunpla, can be anything else, please to make use of my affiliate links for HLJ and OSGK down in the description below. Just use the link, enter the website, you can navigate around and buy anything, and that is how you support this channel. You're not paying anything extra, but I will earn a small 3-4% of commission for every sale I make, regardless of what it is. Yeah, so that is actually how I partially fund my figure haul, right? Like, I want to review as many figures as possible, including the ones that I have no intention of keeping for very long. I might sell it after it, and as you know, when you sell a used figure after buying it new, you lose a bit of money, and that is how I keep things going on without spending too much of my own salary. Okay, moving up to third-party section. As usual, we begin with the Anyas, right? Hold on, this is not Anya. At the same time, it is. So we have Konoha Studio and Jouxiang Studio, Katekyo, Hitman Reborn, Tsunayoshi, Sawada, and Anya Cos Tsunayoshi. So basically, this is very smart. One single sculpt, you get 2 hits, right? I mean, you get to choose between the two. You want the actual character from this anime, or you can go for the Anya joke character as usual. Very smart. And I'm not exactly a big fan of, using the same torso and then replacing the head, which is something third parties really like to do. But I guess that for this kind of chibi characters, it works. So... Damn. Anya is a joke character, man. A month about this. So what is this with and without DLC? What do you get for clicking on the DLC? What? Not mentioned over here. Okay, let me try clicking on the prices over here. So, okay. Without DLC, $131. With DLC, $150. I think they give you an extra stand to display the head separately, right? Going by the pictures over here. Okay, moving up next, we have Anya cosplaying as Tsukino Usagi, card captor Sakura. And interestingly, this is available only in pink hair. I would expect Tsukino's hair is white color, right? Is it? Yeah, I'm surprised she is not available in the other hair color. But this one looks really nice for $99. No release date yet. The next Anya here cosplaying as Sawada Tsunayoshi. No idea who that is. Okay, by ZH Studio. Zhenghua Studio apparently. Brown color or pink color hair to choose from, $113 each. Okay, this one is nice, but I like the one earlier. the Katekyo Hitman Reborn one. And then the next one here by the same studio, cosplaying as Pain from Naruto. Samsara Eye or Cute Face. Pink hair or brown hair. Okay, I actually like this one. This preview picture the most. You can still tell it is Anya, right? This is my favorite version. Pink hair would look a bit off over here because she's cosplaying. The price is $113, no release date yet. ZH Studio, I think a lot of people who buy the stuff know their stuff are great and they are a bit of an Anya specialist in a way. I don't see them stopping making these kind of things. The next one here, we have a chibi figure of Sakura Kinomoto from Card Captor Sakura by Toybirds Studio. December release, $57. Okay, just a super deformed chibi figure. Under 10 cm in size, I would say don't bother really. Get the pop-up rate L earlier. Yes, get that one. Okay, the next one here, we have a couple of figures from One Piece. This is by Spades K Studio. Nami. Okay, you get to choose between octagonal base and rock base. Of course, I'll take a rock base. Why would I want a plain octagonal plastic base, right? Anyways, nothing much to see here. Just another Nami figure. So many of them. Yeah. The face is okay, but I've seen better. The next one here, we have Boa Hancock taking a bath in an onsen by Dreamlab Studio. $113. No release date yet. And this is like a bust figure, which is unfortunate. I'm not really a bust figure person. Half a figure in an onsen, that is it. And yep, she's Hadaka. Her hair is covering her oppai, so you don't get to see anything really. I would say go for something else. There are so many great boa hand concocted party figures out there. Or if you want a genuine mega house. Yeah. Moving up next, wow. Naruto Tsunade from Genius B Studio 1/6 scale, $163 US. No release date as well. Now, this is for those of you who like this character, but you wish that her melons are way bigger. But to me, this is ridiculous, man. The thing is that they make figures like this because they actually sell. And are you a collector of stuff like this? I would like to interview a figure collector who collects stuff like this one day, if there are any, and nearby my place, of course. What? $163 is okay, you know? It is okay, reasonable, but no, I wouldn't want something like this. Up next, we have two figures from Neon Genesis Evangelion. Both are Ayanami Rei. So this one does not have a price yet, only a deposit of $75. They don't know the official price yet. But the deposit is normally around 1/3 to 1/4 of the full price. So you multiply that by 4, what, $300 maybe? Yeah, $300 is my prediction. Okay, no release date yet as well. Let's have a closer look. As usual, I want the bike. The bike is beautiful. And oh, the face is great. The face sculpt. This is almost impossible to differentiate to a genuine figure of her. Like, this is so accurate, man. The sculpting. This is what she looks like in the movie, at least, you know? Yeah. I've seen figures of her that are way more detailed than this, both 1/6 and 1/4. But in terms of being faithful to the original art, this is as close as it gets for third party. Very nicely sculpted. And this one really bothers me a lot, Ducati, because they can't use the word Ducati, right? Yeah. Trademark issues. I would say leave the bike unbranded. Maybe you put, I don't know, you put some other decals over there. Don't put any branding on it. It really ruins the figure. Like, it makes the figure or the bike feels like a bootleg product, right? Because what bootleg companies do is that they take an existing brand name and then they change the spelling a bit. You've seen fake iPhones, fake Samsung phones where they change the alphabet. Samsung becomes Samsung or something like that, right? They change one or two alphabet, and when you do that, obviously, you are giving other people a perception that you are making a bootleg. So, I would rather them keep the bike unbranded instead of, modifying or changing the spelling of an existing brand. It makes the product feels like a bootleg. That's the thing. Remove that decal. Call Brother Studio. Remove it. Okay, moving up next, we have Ayanami Rei again by Baji Studio. Now, Baji Studio is a brand that I'm keeping an eye on. I think they make really good resin figures. Their figures are really good, right? They first caught my attention with their Zenless and Zone Zero figures, but since then, I look at the products, I look at the actual pictures from factory, from users, they look fabulous. Yeah, so this one could be a really good purchase. The pose, the sculpt, the face, everything looks amazing here. Just that we don't have any prices yet. $45 deposit, no release date. And you get to choose between grey or black color Maid outfit. This grey color actually looks amazing. But I would probably lean towards the original blue color. Yeah. 45 multiplied by 4. Yeah, $200 probably, the actual price. Okay. Moving up next, we have Tri-Eagle Studio. We have a few 1x4 scales coming. The first one here is a licensed one. Blazing Tail. No idea what that is. Okay, no price yet. Deposit $99 is suspiciously low. Because I am predicting this figure to be $500 maybe. Yeah. Okay, original character. No wonder I know nothing. Character artist design. It is an original character. Okay, original character, then maybe it can go as low as $400, which is why they're taking a deposit of $99. Okay, no release date yet, and yeah, that is one of the most perfect back sides I've ever seen, but I couldn't show it to you on screen. Unfortunately, the sculpting is beautifully smooth. Yeah. Okay, moving up next, we have, okay, the next two figures are actually not anime or Japanese stuff, but I find them to be kind of nice, so I want to share it with you guys over here, briefly. This is Venom Girl, obviously, yeah, Venom from Marvel Comics, by Source Studio for $74 and 1x4 scale December release. Like, looking at this from the perspective of a concept art, this is nicely done, I like it a lot. But yeah, I won't collect anything from Marvel or DC. Very creative concept art. I love this. Moving up next from Wake Studio, Elden Ring Marika. Not exactly Japanese anime or game. $526, 1x4 scale, June 2026 release. Man, I love that base so much. I want the base only. I don't care about the figure, you know. I love dioramas. Yeah, I am a detail guy, that's the thing. Alright, 1x4 scale resin figures, this level of detail is to be expected. The next 1x4 scale original character, hence licensed, ACY Studio, the Vatican series, the Bishop, $497 and 1/4 scale, December release. Now, this one is also beautiful. And in case you haven't heard of ACY Studio yet, even though you have been collecting figures from third parties, then something is really wrong with you. They have been around for years, and their 1x4 scale is, you know, together with brands like PJ Studio, you have DT and Ume Studio, and then ACY Studio over here. These three brands are fairly famous in third parties for 1x4 scale resins, and yeah, they do realistic face stuff. Nowadays, ACY Studio, you know, they can't give you customable figures anymore for reasons you already know. So no, this is not customable, but who cares, because this is beautiful. Not my kind of figure, but this is beautiful regardless, and some people will love this. Okay, moving on to the next one, Hyperspace Studio, another brand that is worth keeping an eye on. So this is Stellar Blade Raven Boss, $449, 1x4 scale as well. There is LED in the base, December release. One day, I will get an Eve figure from Stellar Blade. Like, I respect Shift Up Corporation so much, especially their CEO. You know what they said? Once you buy the game, you can do whatever you want. You want to loot Eve with your mods, go ahead and do it, because once you buy the game, it is yours. You own it. You own the game you purchase. This is not something common nowadays. You know, you buy a game and then, who knows, the company can turn off the server 10 years later, and then your game, you can no longer play it. Yeah, nowadays you don't own anything, which really sucks. And for a company to come out and say that you own what you purchased, that is really refreshing. And for that reason, I really want to support this company, the company behind Nikkei and also Stellar Blade. I haven't purchased the game for PC yet, but I will. Like, I need to find time to play it. Maybe I'll wait until end of year or something, but I want to play the game. After I upgrade my graphics card, that is. Okay, moving up next, we have Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy 1x3 scale. This is the better looking one. There are two of them. This is the better looking one. $476, December 2025 release. You know, with Tifa, there are so many figures of her from third parties, but not many can get her face right. That's the thing. This one is close enough, I would say. Close enough, quite nice. And if you want it, by all means go for it, even though the pose is bland. But at 1x3 scale, I suppose that you don't want anything that is way too complicated and takes up way too much horizontal space, because she already takes up a lot of vertical space, right? So 62 cm, nice height. However, the next one here looks terrible. Like, this is one of the worst figures this week among the third parties. So this one is also a 1x3 scale Tifa, but you can get her in 1x6 scale as well. The 1x3, they have the audacity to ask for $806. This one is half the price, almost half the price. Why would I get one that looks worse and cost almost double? This is also available in 1x6 scale for $184. I mean, she looks so shocked, so surprised. She's like, her eyes, she's like, uh, can I zoom in even more? I can't zoom in even more. Like, it is not exactly that bad looking, you know. I mean, I might have been a little bit too harsh on them, but the one earlier, this one looks a bit better. But even if their faces were equals, they look exactly the same, this is almost double the price. Okay, you get an extra arm. Okay, you get an extra arm. Still not worth the extra price though. 74 cm because you get the... Yeah, sure. You get a bigger base, you get an extra arm, but I don't think I can justify the double price over there. Nope. Okay, moving up next, we have this really nice looking figure from League of Legends. Hall of Fame League Immortal Kaisa Cassiopeia by Pure Art Studio. But this being a licensed figure, I suppose that it has to look good. And being licensed, it means that it is kinda expensive. $324 at 1/6 scale, June 2026 release. But you know what? This one looks fantastic. I love it. Right? But if this is too expensive for you, guess what? Get the one by Apex Toys under 20,000 yen. Yeah, so you have other options out there. This one is... Whew, this is amazing. Yeah, I think can see why it is expensive. That base over there is partly responsible for it. But there is virtually nothing I would change about this figure. She looks perfect already. Okay, moving up next, we have action figure 1/6 scale Lamia Queen Remia fully articulated figure. 3S Toys, $200, March 2026 release. Oh wow. What? That is kind of creepy, man. Okay. Any Monster Musume fans, you might want to take a look at this. $200 only. But all of this is actually a very good price. I have to admit that. But it is kind of creepy at the same time. Up next, we have, something cultured. Fish Head Studio Nan-Tai Prayer. Original character. $188 for an elf. Wide open. And with tentacles. What is there not to like? And most importantly, her face is cute. That is very important. Releasing in March 2026. Alright, I like this one a lot. Just that unfortunately, I'm not that rich to buy everything that I like. Up next, we have Cattail Studio. Okay, Sailor Moon. A pair of figures at 1/6 scale for $328. March 2026 release. Okay, this is for those of you, for female figure collectors, right? Yeah, it looks like something designed for, the girls who love card captor Sakura and want to see her get married to some handsome dude. Well, this is not a bad buy for people who like figures like this because the genuine brands won't make them. Yeah. And classic art characters like this, right? They usually, they won't mess up the face because it is simpler character design. Next one here from Demon Slayer, we have Mitsuri Kanroji from Chunchill Studio, $169 at 1/6 scale, September 2025 release. Oh my god, what happens to her? Oh, that looks horrible, man. Okay, this probably looks worse than the $800 Tifa figure earlier. She is not this skinny. She looks way too skinny over here. Even her butt is kind of small. If I remember correctly, she is a lot more thick, in short. Oh my god. I have to apologize to Fantasy Studio for the $800 Tifa figure earlier. This one looks worse than their figure. This is the worst this week. This looks not only like a price figure, this is almost bootleg level scout. What happens over here, man? We have very skinny arms, which is seen in certain kinds of eating disorders. And then we have a neck which appears to be very long. We have a face that is also kind of elongated. And then Like, oh my god. I'm speechless right now, see? I am speechless. Just go and get the scale figures by the genuine brands, Mega House, Aniplex, whichever it is. Why $169 for this? Moving up next, okay. Interestingly, Wei-Yang Studio is pairing Misaka Mikoto from Toaru Kagaku no Railgun with a motorcycle, which in my opinion is a weird combination because Misaka Mikoto does not really give off the vibe or the personality of a character which you would see her on a motorcycle or a bike. Yeah. I mean, usually you would pair a motorcycle like one like this. This is a bit like this looks like an off-roader bike, right? Off-roader or I don't know. I'm not very knowledgeable about motorcycles. This is like an off-roader or maybe a high-power bike, a super bike even. And this kind of bike does not really pair very well with Misaka Mikoto's character, right? It is a weird combination. Usually this kind of bike, you would see it next to a more mature-looking character. Yeah, a more grown-up character. And then if a very young anime character like a JK character wearing school uniform, for example, you normally see them being paired with an electric scooter, a tiny scooter, which is what you guys saw with Yuru Camp, for example. So Misaka Mikoto, while she is very tomboyish, I still don't see her being paired with a bike like this. She looks more like the kind you see on an electric scooter, given that she uses electric. I mean, her power, that is her ability over there. Yeah, weird combination. The figure looks nice, don't get me wrong. The figure looks nice, just that it is a weird combination in my opinion. Okay, $344 is fair enough, I guess. You get the bike over there at 1/6 scale, no release date yet. And the sculpt on her face is perfectly nice, no complaints from me. With Misaka Mikoto, if you want a scale figure of her, try to look for the ones by Kotobukiya. Moving up next, another terrible looking figure. But I still think Mitsuri Kanroji earlier looks worse. This is nearly there. What makes this worse is that this is actually a licensed figure from Kitsune Statue Studio. Power from Chainsaw Man, $132. No scale mentioned here. December release. What is the scale? Height given would be 22 centimeters. 1/8. What the heck? 22 cms 1/8. Yep, 1/8. This is not worth it, right? Detail level is low. Some shading over here, but the shirt is lacking detail. It feels like Amakuni did a far better job. You know, the one by Amakuni where she is standing on a red color hammer. That one is amazing. Yeah. Not worth it, even if she's going for only $132. Up next, we have two very cultured figures from Juri Wanja Studio for those of you who love furries. Pokemon anthropomorphic series Desert Dancer Espion. Okay, so this is Espion. I don't know about Pokemons, right? Okay, $113 December release. This looks like a CGI, right? Yeah, this looks like CGI to me. Okay, they don't have the actual figure yet. This is CGI. Okay. At least it is cheap though, $113. And then the next one here, another CGI figure from same studio. Gardevoir, $113 as well, December release. Now this one looks a lot hotter. Yes. Don't ask me anything about this studio because, hey, if you want it, you get it. Because y'all furry collectors who don't get stuff like this very often. So Juri Wanja Studio in English is Mocking Studio, apparently. Okay, moving up next, we have one of the better looking third-party Marin Kitagawa figures. It was just last week I said that a lot of third parties couldn't get her face done right. But finally, I think this brand got it right. Blooming Studio, Marin Kitagawa Bunny Girl, $130 only at 1/7 scale. No release date yet. The only unfortunate part is that I would have preferred to see them doing something nicer instead of a plain black bunny girl. given that they have gotten the face so right over here. So normally, I want a nice face to be paired with a nicer body sculpt, like a more detailed one, right? So it feels wasted over here. Anyways, the biggest problem for this figure is not the face or anything else, not the bunny suit either. It is the genuine figures, the competition, right? So it was just 2 years ago, all of us were asking, where are the Marin Kitagawa figures? Now, 2 years later, they are everywhere. And some of them go for really cheap. Even the scale figures by brands like Good Smile, the prices are very competitive. That makes it really hard to recommend a resin figure like this. Even more so when this is also a 1/7, not bigger scale. Yeah, that's the thing. Nothing wrong with the figure, just that stiff competition. Moving on to the next one, we have BJA Studio Hatsune Miku Rabbit Hole version. So this is available in 1/6 scale at $188 or 1/4 scale at $344. Now this is a really nice looking Miku figure. Get it in 1/4. This is very nice, like tied to a dancing rod, a pole dancing rod with those ribbons over there. I love it. It does not even need to be customizable. Even the sculpt alone, the pose alone, everything, it looks appealing already. So this is coming out in June 2026. And interestingly, this rabbit hole version of Hatsune Miku, there has been so many versions of her being converted into a genuine PVC figure, but the rabbit hole version, specifically, haven't seen any from genuine figure brands. Moving up next, we have Toho Figure Studio Xenoblade Chronicles Gyeongsa Mitra. Yeah, they released Pyra just recently, I think. The standard version without DLC is going for $233, can go all the way up to $338 with DLC. What are you getting for the DLC? No, not custom parts. You're getting a very nice custom display box to display her together with that Pyra figure, but still very expensive. But Toho Figure Studio is no stranger to making very expensive figures. Even their FGO figures are bloody expensive. Yeah. And for the longest time ever, it feels like their figures look suspiciously similar to some of the official GKs from One Fest, for example. They might be recast. Might be. I don't know. But in the end, I suppose that everything is being decided by the customer, right? If people keep buying them, people like them, guess what? No amount of virtue signaling or teaching people about morals is not going to stop people from buying stuff like that, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay, moving up next. What? We have this 2B figure from Cherry Bomb Studio, $160, where you have her locked into a wall. With her Oshiri exposed. Like, it has been a long time since I've last seen a figure like this come out. Yeah, it has been a year even. For those of you with the weirdest fetishes ever, you might want to take a look at this. Unfortunately, this is just a low resolution CGI image from the looks of it, but don't bother, man. Don't bother. $160 can get you an excellent PVC figure. Don't spend it on stuff like this. Up next, we have one of the main highlights this week, Imagination Studio and Red Peach A Studio, Nier Automata A2. Okay, so you get to buy her in a long hair or short hair version. Short hair is $382, long hair $441, or you can get the deluxe for $563. Yeah, it is not like you're getting 2 head sculpts, more like you're getting 1.5 figures. Yeah, maybe you can sort out the torso, right? But the base, they share the same base, I suppose. It looks amazing for sure. Like Imagination Studio, I reviewed only one figure from them, their Kafka, which was okay. But this one, next level detail. I can tell already. This looks amazing. I think it was just recently when Max Factory put their 1/7 scale of her on pre-order. But still, this thing... Whew. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I think this would be one of those few occasions where I will tell you to get the deluxe version. Go all out, but over $500, man. Jeez. A 1/4 scale. I assumed it was 1/6, because Imagination Studio, they tend to make more 1/6 scale. Now, 1/4 scale, $563 for the deluxe, which includes everything. Yep, get the deluxe one. This one looks fabulous. Okay, moving up next, we have one single figure from Honkai Impacted. This would be Demon Studios, Yae Sakura. So Yae Sakura in Honkai, Yae Miko in Genshin. Are they like the same character but in different dimensions or something? After all, it is under Hoyoverse, right? Okay, $188 December release. Just that the pose is a bit meh, a bit plain, but you know, she doesn't look too bad. And this reminds me of that Fats Company Musashi figure that I have a bit. You know, two swords on the side of her hip over here, very similar in fact, giving off very similar vibes. But that base over there, this is the kind of base that I wish more genuine figure brands would do, instead of giving us a plain disc. This kind of base should be standard even. Yeah, so this figure looks fabulous. The only slight negative is the pose. Yeah. $188 is also very reasonable. Moving up next, we have Code Studio Honkai Star Rail Kafka, available in 1.6 at $230 or 1.4 at $326. Okay, and that is for the standard version. Oh, no deluxe version for the 1x4 scale. 1x6 scale has a deluxe version. That is weird. Oh, I see. Deluxe version, you're getting this giant base with all these effect parts, which is presumably, yeah, from her battles. I can understand why this is not offered in 1x4 scale, because the size would be absurd. Wow. I'm not sure if I like it, to be honest. I'm not sure if I like it, but this is starting to look a bit messy. But at least it does not distract from the main figure, no? Many One Piece figures, right? Dragon Ball as well, the third parties, they come up with these really giant diorama bases, and then the main character is somewhere lost in the middle, you can't see them. This one does not feel that way, even though the base is kind of messy. But I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure if this is what I want in the Kafka figure. Yeah, it is a bit much. The face is fine, very similar to what we see in the game, but I'm sure all of you are waiting for the one by Apex Toys, right? The scale figure. I think that one is coming out only next year. Up next, we have, oh, Lemalin from CLL Studio. Now, this is a really nice figure from Azur Lane, 1x6 scale, $274, March 2026 release. This one is hotter than the 1x4 scale, by which brand already, that went on pre-order recently, 123,000 yen, a Chinese brand. Because the important parts are facing us, the audience, right? Yes, so this one looks amazing, and I wish that they offer a 1x4 option. Yeah. This is perfect already. There is virtually nothing that I would change with this figure. Different art style, looks different from the Lemalin, I know, but still very nice, not complaining. Yeah, this one needs to be available in the 1x4 scale. Moving up next, we have Gufeng Studio Azur Lane Sovetskaya Soyuz. Okay, 1x6 scale in at $215 or 1x4 scale at $345. Okay, no release date yet. This one is, you see, they give her a very tall and giant base just to make the figure seem bigger than it actually is. But that is a very nice base regardless. Great looking figure. Nothing to complain about. But guess what? I'll take Lemalin. Yeah, nice face. Oh, the shading work on her hair, that really captures my attention. Yeah, all these different gradients of color. This is what I want to see more third parties do. Right, this kind of paintwork. Let's hope this is what we get in the final product and not just shadows. I'm sure it isn't. Shadows from lighting does not look like this. Okay, moving up next, we have an update. We have 3 blue archive figures over here, but the first one is an update from last week. Last week, we did not have any prices for this figure of Asuna and Karin from Astral Spirit Studio, but now we have the prices. So this can go all the way up to $343 a set for 1x6 scale and $541 for 1x4 scale. But as I mentioned last week, I'm not sure if I like the face sculpt over here, and obviously they overinflated their bust size to appeal to people who love big oppai. Yeah, it has gotten to the extent where it feels like their head are undersized. Big body, small head, I don't like it. Yeah, so this is just an update. The next one here, oh boy. This one is going to be insanely popular, and you know what? I really wish that this is available as a genuine licensed figure. So from Ming-Yaxiang Studio, we have Shimoe Koharu from Blue Archive, and I would even go as far to say that this is the best figure of Shimoe Koharu so far, be it genuine or third party. Like, they got everything right, you know? They got the fan service part right, where she is like partially undressing but still wearing undergarment, not too lewd. And then, yeah, the face, right? The embarrassed face, fabulous, man. One of those figures, when I see it, I would say there's nothing I would change, already perfect. And the last thing, one last step is for the figure brand to get it out perfectly as advertised over here. That would be fantastic. So, in my opinion, this is even top 2 best third-party figure this week, together with that Imagination Studio A2 earlier. Yup, the one by Imagination Studio is more detailed, but in terms of, you know, capturing the character, the personality, capturing the character's vibe alone, this one nails it really perfectly. Okay, and the third Blue Archive figure here is from Lolico Studio. They do a lot of cheap Blue Archive resin figures. This is Yoshi Mari, $132 only, releasing this December. This is also nice, right? Does not capture my heart as much as Shimoe Koharu earlier, but this is nice as well. Blushing face, embarrassed, partially undressing, my kind of thing. You know, a partially undressing character is more appealing than a fully Hadaka one, in my opinion. Yeah, so, you know, really fires up your imagination in a way. And Lolico Studio, their Blue Archive figures are like $110, $120 each, you know? Yeah. They had this figure of Kisaki, Ryuge Kisaki, stretching her legs wide open. Yeah, that was fantastic as well. And I am already seeing bootlegs of that figure in Taobao already. Like, third-party bootleg PVC figure brands, bootlegging their own genuine resin figure brands. Genuine, I mean, the original sculptor in a way. Funny. And then the next one here, we have another Cartetia figure from Wuthering Waves. This is by Hello Studio. Okay, 1x4 scale. The price is not yet confirmed apparently, but version A is available for $347, the younger version over here. And version B, the adult version, is $629. But apparently, yeah, full payment to be determined. The price could change. So with Cartetia, I think the ones I covered from the previous weeks are a lot better looking than this one over here. So to check those out first. Okay, and the last figure for today would be Whale Studio Snowbreak Containment Zone Katya Klein again. Elegant Brocade Melody 1x6 scale. Okay, so version A, the one you're seeing on screen, is $230. Version B is almost Hadaka but with love-shaped objects on the chest. I think you can imagine that, right? So almost Hadaka yet not Hadaka at the same time, and EX version you get both for $382. June 2026 release. This one, I'm not feeling it. It is like, detail level is kind of, you know, mid. Yeah. I look at this, I feel I'm not looking at anything different compared from a PVC figure. Normally, I would expect a resin figure to be a bit more detailed. So, the face and everything, right? And you get an extra head sculpt as well. Face and everything is great. Like, I suppose that this will still sell because no genuine figures of her yet. But, you know, when I looked at those close-up pictures earlier, I feel like $230 is still a bit high. Yeah, that's what I think over here. So that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one will you pre-order? And what are your thoughts on the 54,000 yen New Jersey figure? Is it a yes or a nope? Let me know down in the comments below. And until then, if you found this video enjoyable or informative, please do give this video a like, subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content. And until then, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching and goodbye.